The Solana whale that we have been following actually has some news. He is moving 25 million of USDC debt from Solend to Mango markets, reducing some of the liquidity pressure on Solana. You guys, stay tuned. Big news today. Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode. In yesterday's market overview there was not a lot of news. Today is going to be a completely different story as we are going crazy here with lots of stories, lots of things to get at. So like, subscribe, and let's get into it. So the market itself in terms of stats is looking relatively normal. We are seeing Bitcoin doing quite well with a 2.3% increase over the last 24 hours. It is around $20.5 thousand right now, have been quite stable overnight. Very good to see. Ethereum is at 1.1 thousand. It has dipped below in the last 24 hours, but it seems to kind of be recovering and staying around that $1.1 thousand. Cardano is not doing very well. It is still not at 5 cents, but everything seems to be in the green for the rest. We are seeing pretty good results. Last video I talked about how the meme coins were actually doing surprisingly well. Let's take a quick look at them. Shiba is still at 7.3% increase, meaning that over the past week they have grown nearly 16.5%. However, most of this can be contributed to today and to yesterday with absolutely insane amounts of growth. So that is good to see. Dogecoin, of course, after Elon Musk had doubled down on its support of the coin, has been doing very well. It has steadily been increasing without any weird dips. Over the past week, it has only grown about 1.7%, but just in the last 24 hours with a 3.3% growth. Also, Dogecoin is doing very well. Solana, we're going to talk about this one a lot today, is actually doing surprisingly well considering the circumstances. Of course, it just got some very good news, which is partially why the coin is now growing again. But with that being said, we're going to get right into the news of today. But before we do, Fear and Greed Index. Today it is a Fear and Greed Index of 11, which is pretty alright. We are out of the complete red, and it is the same number that we had yesterday. Of course, it is still extreme fear, but for now we're gonna just take it. Alright, so on to the first story of today. We are talking about the Solana whale that caused a lot of trouble a couple of days ago. And the whole situation threatened to default Solana and actually get them down, get the coin to $0. So there was a lot of stress and it was all because of this whale. So let's dive into the article. Solana Whale moves 25 million of USDC debt from Solend to Mango markets. The move reduced the utilization of USDC within the Solend platform and allows users to withdraw their assets once more. So assets are no longer frozen, they can be moved around again. Over here we see in the tweet, USDC utilization has dropped from 100% to 98%, meaning users can withdraw again. Now this is a bit of a band-aid solution, of course. It relieves some of the liquidation pressure, but it's not a long-term solution, and Solend is still in a lot of trouble. The Solend Whale was subjected to the potential takeover by a recent Solend governance vote. The Solana whale that has been subjected to the potential takeover by a recent Solend governance vote has gotten in touch with the lending protocol and moved $25 million worth of USD coin debt into the Mango markets. In a tweet, Solend shared that the whale acted on the team's suggestion to move its position across various lending protocols. The act reduces the utilization of USDC within Solend, allowing its users to withdraw their assets once more. So, like I said before, this is a temporary solution, but they seem to be figuring it out, and at least for now, the assets are no longer frozen. And as we saw, the Solana price is not only not at zero, but it's actually looking pretty well. So we're going to keep an eye on this story as it progresses, but this is some good positive news. And then we just have the Solana status. It is just looking pretty good. We don't see any weird incidents, so Solana definitely does seem to be recovering. Then in other news, Voyager enters into a 500 million loan agreement with Alameda amid 3AC exposure. So for those of you who don't know, Voyager has lended around 15,000 Bitcoin over to 3AC, but they are currently unresponsive, meaning that they don't give any communication and they're not paying the money back. Voyager has already sent multiple notices that the money is due and that they need it to be paid, but 3AC is, like I said, not responsive and is not paying back any of the money, which is causing a lot of trouble because 3AC clearly cannot pay back the money, and if Voyager doesn't get it back, they might be in some big trouble as well. It is not just the 15,250 Bitcoin, it is also 350 million USDC. So those are massive, massive numbers. Trading platform Voyager Digital takes a loan from trading firm Alameda Research because of its exposure to crypto venture capital firm 3 Arrows. So they are now taking a loan because 3AC is not paying their loan to them back. So that is some tricky stuff over there. In a press release by Voyager Digital, the firm announced that it has borrowed 15,000 Bitcoin from Alameda to cover the losses that came from its exposure to 3AC contagion. So again, 3AC doesn't pay back this massive amount that it had borrowed from Voyager, and because of that, Voyager is now lending over 15,000 of worth of Bitcoin from Alameda. And you guys, this could turn out pretty bad, because what happens if Voyager now isn't able to pay back? Then we have 3 big companies in trouble. So we're going to keep a very close eye on this story. What is going to happen to 3AC? What is going to happen to Voyager? And if Voyager isn't able to pay back, then what is going to happen to Alameda? So make sure you're subscribed and turn notifications on, because we're going to keep a very close eye on this story. The repayment requested involves 25 million to be paid on Friday and payment of the total balance on Monday. If 3AC fails to pay either of the amounts specified, it will be considered an event of default. Apart from these, Voyager noted that it hopes to pursue legal action to recover its funds from 3AC, and it is currently working with the company's lawyers to find potential legal remedies. Voyager also highlighted that, at this point, they are unable to measure the amount that they can possibly be recovered from 3AC. So there's that. Very, very bleak, very, very bleak for Voyager, because if the money isn't there, it cannot be paid. So even with legal means, there's only so much you can do. We're going to keep an eye on this story for sure. Then a report, crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital pitched a GBTC arbitrage trade before rumored collapse. Let's dive into this article. Last week, there was a lot of focus on the crypto hedge fund 3 Arrows Capital, 3AC, as the firm allegedly had a great deal of leveraged positions liquidated, and there's been speculation about insolvency. According to a recent report, 3AC over-the-counter operation TPS Capital pitched a GBTC arbitrage opportunity before the company reportedly failed to meet margin calls. 3AC co-founder says, Terra Luna situation caught us very much off guard. FTX CEO Sam Bankman insists problems like 3AC couldn't have happened with an on-chain protocol. So before June the 14th, the co-founder of 3AC was very active on Twitter, but since the 14th of June, he has been completely silent. Of course, this is when 3AC got into a lot of trouble, wasn't able to pay back its debts anymore. They made a couple of very bad calls, stuff went down, and now he has been completely silent, both to the people he owes money to, but also on Twitter and social media. Report says 3AC's OTC desk TPS Capital pitched a GBTC-linked trade before the alleged collapse. Additionally, the blog reporter Frank Chaparro published a report that said days before 3 Arrows Capital blew up, it was pitching investors on a new arbitrage trade. Chaparro detailed that the blog reviewed investment documents that were allegedly pitched to investors by TPS Capital, and the arbitrage opportunity involved GBTC, the grayscale exchange trade product tied to Bitcoin. They pitched to so many people and individually familiar with the matter, Dolce Power. So just before their collapse, they have been pitching this to a buttload of people. Very, very sketchy, in my opinion. Alright you guys, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. We took a look at the biggest articles here of today and a quick overview of the market. But lucky for you guys, that is what we do every day. So subscribe and turn the notifications on to stay up to date and join our Discord, you guys. It is an amazing place, so you don't want to miss out on that. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and I see you all in the next one.